So today on Backstage with Billy, this amazing show, this rock opera that I obviously adore, Jim Steinman and Meatloaf together. Oh, obviously the iconic music, obviously of Bat Out of Hell, as it comes ripping, roaring back to Manchester. And I am so excited because today I am joined by one of the stars of the show, the lovely Georgia Bradshaw, playing the part of Zahara. Georgia, welcome to Backstage with Billy. Most importantly, tell us about Zahara and tell us about Bat Out of Hell.
Thanks for having me. So Bat Out of Hell is like an iconic rock vocal heavy show with huge songs, big ballads, a lot of individuality within the cast. My role is Zahara. I play the character that kind of interjects in all the stories. So Falco Towers is this big menacing, um, let's call them the Captain Hook of the theatre, and I work there, so I know all of those characters. And then I'm also part of the Lost, which are, if you're referencing it to Peter Pan, it's the Lost Boys, and I'm also part of them. So I'm like this feisty, sassy character with a lot of like strutting, heels, telling everybody what to do. It's kind of where I sit. But I also have a love interest, which is Jag. So my part is heavily based on the love interest of myself and Jag.
Because obviously, Battle of Hell is kind of a Romeo and Juliet sat in like a utopian time, isn't it? Really,
Yeah,
because the role obviously of Strat falls for the villainous well, I forget Falco. Yeah,
yeah,
he falls for her daughter, and then obviously the trouble and the fun begins, and the show just ignites. But obviously you've got the return of obviously Glenn Adamson. Now I saw this show. If it's Glenn that I'm thinking of, it's Glenn.
yeah,
Always reminds me he's like Freddie Mercury. He's very sassy, very sexy. Anyone would think I'd
yeah,
be paid
very.
for this by Glenn, and I'm not. He is just an amazing performer to see live on stage. Obviously, Sharon Sexton and obviously Rob Fowler taking on the role of obviously Strat Sloan and Falco. Kate Tonkinson taking on the role, obviously, of the beautiful Raven. Of course, yourself as well, very beautiful. But obviously, like I said, the music set to the backdrop of some great Jim Steinman, Stroke, Meatloaf's power ballads, rock opera tunes.
Yeah,
That just says it all. And you go on this musical journey. But nevertheless, most importantly, what can I say? This iconic show is going to dust the cobwebs off that we've all carried on 2024. And it's arriving in Manchester at the Palace Theatre from the 24th of February. Now, I've seen the show very long time ago. Looking
yeah,
forward to seeing it all again. Uh, to be honest with you, I really am excited. But let's talk a little bit about you, Georgia. I mean, you've got
yeah,
some credits behind you, haven't you? You've got Bring It On, you've got 9 to 5, um, Flashdance. Now, it says
yeah.
here Korean. Did you do the Korean tour?
Yeah, I did the Korean tour. It was freezing cold, minus
Really?
14 degrees. But we toured quite a vast amount of Korea. It was very, very interesting place. I would go back in a heartbeat.
Oh,
It was
wow.
so good. And the audiences in Korea are very different to, let's say, an audience in Manchester. Manchester, you know exactly what you're getting. They're up, they're lively, they're in it. Whereas in Korea, silence the whole performance, and you think, do they like it? And then at the end, when they know they're allowed to, they're like, wow, like
So they go mental.
then they become the Manchester audience that we all know and love.
Wow. Well, I must say
Yeah,
you've done, I mean, Dream Girls. What was the
yeah.
Beyonce experience? Because that's kind of like, got to ask that question.
I've done Dreamgirls. It was Dreamgirls is everything I expected musical theatre to be when I was younger. It was glamorous. It was these huge jeweled Swarovski costumes, big belt voices, these amazing strong black women surrounded.
Yeah.
Was my first job, so I was thrown into it, and I thought this it was one of the jobs when I thought this is why I do what I do for sure.
So what was the Beyonce experience like then? Tell us all about
The
was
Beyonce.
your Queen Bee?
No, I wish I was. No, the Beyonce experience was actually a drag act.
Really?
So Beyonce was a drag artist called Aaron, and we were her backing dancers, giving it all the iconic movements that you would expect.
So you're a bit like Kelly or Michelle.
I would say that I'm Kelly, not Michelle.
And obviously, you've done Panto as well. But
Yeah,
obviously, you've done some great shows, and obviously you're back in Manchester. And boy, oh boy, now if I tell you what, if I was a performer, and I wanted to do a show, this is the show I'd love to do because really it is electric on stage. That is obviously because of the music and the performances. I
yeah,
love the way the set's laid out. It's a beautiful, fantastic set. But most importantly, if you want to come along and see this amazing show with this amazing lady, Georgia Bradshaw, who's going to be on stage playing the part of Zahara, obviously, Bat Out of Hell is heading to Manchester. It's going to be at the Palace Theatre. Grab your tickets, atgtickets.com, from the 24th of February. We're looking forward to having you. How's your tour going so far? I love asking this question.
Well, we've only been at the beginning. We've only done Edinburgh and Portsmouth, and so far, loving it. Love Edinburgh, love Portsmouth. We've got like the exact reaction that you expect to get. So I'd say so far so good. I got nothing bad to say.
What about the accommodation?
Well, I think I've lucked out. My first place was like a walk in the, like literally seconds away from the theatre.
Oh,
And
that's
then
good.
this time I'm actually staying at a friend's house.
Oh, wow,
So
yeah.
it's fabulous.
So this amazing show is coming to the one and only Palace Theatre in Manchester. A Bat Out of Hell. This electrifying Jim Steinman stroke Meatloaf, legendary, iconic musical rock opera. The list is endless. And of course, the list, obviously, you've got Glenn Adamson stage, Sharon Sexton, Rob Fowler, Kate Tonkinson, and of course, this lovely young lady, the one and only Georgia Bradshaw. Do it again. Do it again. She's going to be playing the part of Zahara. Come along, see this amazing show. Grab your tickets. Battle of Hell from the 24th of February. Palace Theatre is the place to be.
Backstage with Bill.